So today we are going to be continuing with part 46 of our complete application in Spring Boot, and today we are going to be talking about user profile and employee profile. Now you need to pay attention to this part because when you are building an application, there's a rule that you need to bear in mind, and that is if this application is going to store employee data, then you have to realize that users and employees, they are two different things because not all employees are users and not all users are employees, right? So basically, if somebody is employed in an organization, then he has an employee record. That doesn't mean that the person immediately have access to the application you are building. So that's why sometimes we separate these two data stores or these two entities, but somehow we have to also relate them because when an employee is given access to the system, you need to kind of relate these two data together. So that's what we are going to be talking about today. And if you're joining for the first time, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button below, and also feel free to leave me a comment. And if this is your first time coming here, please go to the part 1 and start following from beginning because this is a fun application that everyone can actually do. There have been some delay. I've not done the lesson for about 4 months because I've been busy with my research. So let's start now. So this is a application. So I'm going to just log in. I'm going to log in and then shift this one a bit. Now, if you go to the people and go to employee, you can see that we have an employee, which is me here. Now we have another employee. This employee now does not have access to this application, meaning that he doesn't have a username. However, this application is set up in such a way that you can always check whether the employee has a user profile by clicking on the check. So we click on the check, it's going to quickly update the employee username into the employee record. Let me now show you how it works. So now this is the completed one. So I'm going to put away this one and let's go to the other one. So let me put away this one and let's go to the other one. So this is the completed one. I'm going to simply close it because we are not going to be using it. All right, so the one we are working on, which is this one, Fleet App, let me just increase the font a little bit. So the procedure we are going to follow today says, I've explained this. So the first thing we want to do is, the rule we are going to use is called business rule. Of course, you need to know about business rules. If you have an employee record and a user record, if this employee is the same as this user profile, then the first name and last name should be the same. Remember that in this application, when we are registering a new user, we enter first name, last name, username, and password. These are the 4 things. So if this is an employee, then the first name and last name should be the same. So meaning that if we have an employee record, we can check the user that has the same first name and last name, and then select that user and update the employee record with the username. So let me just show you. So if I go to run this application now, so it says HTTP, I think it's running on port 8080. Let me just check. So it's running on port 8080. Okay, so let's get back here. So I'm going to HTTP localhost at port 8080. And I go to index, I think it's index, I can't remember. Let me see, index. Okay, so let's get back. So it says, oh, this is a different one. Okay, let me run the application again and come back. So it runs at port 8080, yeah, we're right. So I'm going to refresh this page. And now we have the login, so I'm going to also use the same login. And password, I think, is gift. All right, fine. So if I go to the employee record now, you see employees, and we don't have an employee, but we have a user but no employee. So actually, I'm going to add a new employee. So let's add a new employee. Let's say title is Mr. Me. Social security number, first name. Okay, this makes it easy for me. And email can be anything, and phone number, mobile. Okay, it's mobile. All right. And job title, software engineer, and contractor, gender is male or female, whatever. and other name is this. All right, date of birth, add it, and also this, and select state. All right, so I'm going to save, and now we have a new employee. Okay, now this employee here does not have the user, the photo does not show, because we are saying that this photo should be saved with the username, because username is unique to every user. So that's a rule we want to use. We have not talked about how to upload images. We are going to talk about how to upload images after now in the next video. So let's follow the instructions and then get this done. So the first thing we want to do is we want to select a user. We want to check for a user based on the first name and last name. To select a user based on the first name and last name, we are going to extend the user repository to find a user based on the first name and the last name. So I'm going to open the application and let's see. So at this point, I'm going to go to the user repository. So I'm going to repository and go to user repository. And at this point, we want to find a user based on first name and last name. So to do that, you need to write a method. So I'm going to say user find by. Now you can actually write find by first name and last name. All right, so it makes it a bit easier for you. And then specify string first name and string last name. So this is all we need to do. So the JPA repository actually makes it super easy to handle all of this. If I can move to the next page, so let's see, I'm going to come here. All right, so this is what I wrote just now. Now we're also going to write the employee service method to return the employee, to find employee by first name and last name. I actually have to copy this and paste. So what this code is going to do is going to actually update the employee record by finding the user with the first name and last name and update the username column in the employee record. So so this is, let me see. So this is where we are. We need to write the employee service method to find the user by first name and last name. So let's go to the employee service, and from the employee service we are going to find the user by first name and last name. So I'm going to employee service right here. So I'm going to write the service, which is this. Okay, so we need to bring in so this employee, so import class, and also user here, import is going to be this one. And we also need the user repository here. So we are going to auto-wire it, private user repository, that's fine. All right, so at this employee repository, what is happening? Okay, let's see. Employee repository. Let's see. I'm writing it in the wrong place. Okay, so this is employee type repository. So I should be in employee repository. So it's going to be employee service. So I'm going to paste here. All right. So we need to auto-wire the user repository here, private, it's gonna be at auto-wired, okay, so private user repository, all right. So at this point we have user, okay. So let me explain what is happening here. So we have this piece of code right here. So we have employee, get an employee by ID, okay? When we retrieve this employee, we find a user by first name and last name. So this employee first name, employee last name, we get the user that has the first name and last name, and then we are going to get the username and set the employee's username using this record gotten from the database. So if I come here, if I say select star, select username from employee, you'll see that the employee does not have a username for now, okay? So, but we will update it. All right, so the next thing we are going to do at this point, the instruction says write the controller method, okay? So I'm going to write the controller method that will actually assign the username to the employee when this user record is retrieved. So I'm going to the employee controller at this point. In case you have challenges following this, please let me know. So in employee controller, I'm going to write the service to update or to assign a username to this employee by retrieving the username from the record. So I'm going to paste this right here. Okay, this is fine. So we are going to, if we go to this endpoint and slash employees slash assign username is going to call the service and then assign the username by searching for the username and updating the employee record. Now, there is something you also need to bear in mind. Now, we now want to adjust the employee HTML table. If the employee already have a user profile, then the username is displayed. Else, the word check is displayed. And this will be a link so that when it's clicked, it's going to update the employee record. So let me just show you. So here we have, in this case, there are 2 employees. So we also have this check. If the username is not there, then this word check is displayed, okay? So let me reduce this size again. So no, this adverts are always showing here. So to do that, we need to add one more column in the HTML table. So let's go to the HTML table. Remember that the HTML table, let me just show you, for the employee, there is no username column. Now we are going to add it, and it's going to be conditional. If the username is available, display the username. If not, display check, so that you can check, you can click on check to update. And let's now go to the, all right, so this is where we are. So let's go to the template where we have the HTML pages. So I'm going to template and I'm going to employee. It's going to be employee. And then we are going to add one more column to the employee table. So I'm going to scroll down all the way to where we have the employee table. It should be somewhere here. No, not here. It should be here. Okay, perfect. So so permit me to copy and paste because so that we don't waste precious time. So I'm going to copy this and paste it as one more column, possibly after the photo. So I'm going to paste one more column here. All right. So this is a column I pasted just now. So now this is, we are making a request to this endpoint, providing the employee ID. Use the employee ID, find this employee, use the first name and last name, find the user, update, and update the employee record with the username. All right. So finally, we now need to do one more. Okay, we need to add the table header. So let's just add the header here. So I'm going to add th. All right. So I'm going to say username. Okay. All right. So let's check. Solving the edit issue. Okay, now when we want to edit an employee record, we don't want the user to edit this record. So the only way to do that is when you add the username in the employee field, in the employee form, when someone clicks on edit, that username field is going to be either locked or disabled. Possibly it's going to be maybe read-only. Read-only should be okay so that it can be sent. Or it can be hidden so that you don't have to see it. You don't have anything to do with it. So I'm going to copy this and put it as a hidden field in the form, in the edit form. So the edit form is a modal, which is this edit modal. And I'm going to just put the username as a hidden field in this edit modal form. So I'm going to put it maybe just at the end, close to, yeah, somewhere here. All right, so I'm putting it here, okay? And when we also click, yeah, just give me 1 second, let me just see. So what I'm trying to explain is here, so the JavaScript code should also be, so that when we select the employee by ID, we also have to select the username and populate this hidden field right here. So I'm going to go to the JavaScript employee file. So it should be, if I can find it. So let's see. Okay, so it's going to be employee.js, and we need to just add one more line here, which assigns the username to the username. All right. So at this point, we are done. So I'm going to restart this application, and then let's see if everything works. So I'm going to file, save everything, and I'm going to run. So now what we are saying is that this employee now has a user profile. However, this user profile is not updated in the employees table. So if I go to, give me 1 second, let me just, okay, so let's get back here. So if I refresh this page, it doesn't let me, so I'm going to log in again. So I'm going to log in and put in my password, DIFT. All right, so hopefully when I click on check now, it's going to update the employee record. So let's see. Boom, so it worked perfectly. So that is what we wanted to achieve. I'm really happy it worked, because sometimes after doing something, you have errors, and that doesn't make sense. So this is what happens. And the same thing, add new employee, maybe add the user profile for this employee, and simply click on check. A check is going to appear there, and then you simply update. So I'm going to stop here. Please play around with this, and also the website is there in the description box. Try to do it and see, make sure you understand it. And I'd like to thank you for viewing. Remember to subscribe. If you have challenges, please let me know as well. And we see in part 47. In part 47, we are going to be talking about how to upload images. For instance, if I go to, let's give me a second, let me go here. If I go to my profile, I think it should be, all these links, I've not actually updated them. So let me just say profile. Okay, so I've not linked it. Okay, so we are going to be talking about how to update or upload images, your profile, like updating, like you change your profile picture on Facebook and stuff like that. Because right now we have a beautiful profile image for myself. You can see right here. This is a very funny smile. So how do I change this image and update my personal record as well? So I'm going to stop here. Please let me know if you have any challenges whatsoever following these lessons. And I remain Kindson the Tech Pro, and I'm always there for you.